Greetings, people. Timothy here, ambassador, speakerphone, embodiment of the collective, here reporting during what we could call an awfully aggravating and maybe tense time. And so I have to admit, I don't even really want to be doing this video right now. Now we're talking about a new moon in Aquarius. Venus just entered into the sign of Aquarius on the 2nd, where she will remain until the 26th. Over the last weekend, Venus squared Uranus. And you're so glad that I did not record the video then, but now. Now, when we're talking about Aquarius and when I'm counseling clients as they're going through such tense, challenging Uranian periods, what I like to affectionately associate with the phrase divine discontent. Divine discontent sounds and feels a little bit like, yeah, where we are is okay. I guess we're getting by, but don't you know, it could be so much better. We could be so much further along. We could be so much more evolved than where we find ourselves right now. Thank you very much. And so what I say to my dear clients when they're going through such Uranian, pioneering restlessness and discontent, I say, listen, you got to work with whatever you have. And I know that's sometimes easier said than done. Sometimes we just need to simply rearrange the furniture in our house just to bring some change in when something's got to change. Now, I also give the example, you may be locked in a prison cell and now we're limited to what we have at our disposal. We've got to work with whatever we have. And even if that means putting a sock puppet on your hand and talking to that sock puppet, so be it. And I need a little bit of help. Before I can start talking about the astrology, breaking it down, blah, 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 I need a little bit of help from my friend. Hey, Timothy. Oh, wow, hello. You look more like a stocking than a sock, but that's okay. It's the thought that counts. I'm here to be of help. Help, you say? Well, I mean, I've got so many therapists and no, I just wanted to see if there's something nice I could say to help you to start this video. Oh, that's really kind. I know just what to say to you, Timothy. Really? Again, I have so many therapists. They don't seem to do jack shit. Timothy. Yes? Timothy, I find you very attractive. What? You're attractive, Timothy. Wow. I mean, that's really nice for a sock puppet to say. I mean it. You look really good. You're like really attractive. I'm feeling a little bashful right now. Are you single? Is it? No, don't be weird. You're getting weird. You're going to start losing followers. I swear to God, I am so sane. Look, this is my checkbook. I've got credit cards. Look, my Ingalls Advantage card, okay? Nothing to see here. Back to business. Let's see, we got Mercury stationing direct tomorrow. 8 degrees Capricorn, that's fun. Mars station direct at the beginning of the month. 8 degrees Gemini, whoops, looks like they're in the 150 degree Quincunx aspect. All week, can you imagine that? Now let me try my best to describe the 150 degree Quincunx aspect while I replace my Ingalls Advantage card. It's cringy. Cringy is the word I would describe. Unsettling, incomplete, imperfect, inviting the experience of humiliation, embarrassment, our pants fall down, we say the wrong thing, we're blurting it out, it comes out wrong, we're choosing the wrong things. It's just not seeming to line up right now. If anybody's having this collective experience, thank you. Thank you. God bless you. I feel so much less alone, and I'm glad to know that other sentient humans exist. Now, we can break this further down by understanding the archetype of each planet, each representing a fundamental psychological, spiritual, human function. So Mars is our willpower, Our drive, our desire, our will to live, our sexuality, our sexual libido. It's the drive for something new and different. It's the part of ourself that is an inner daredevil, that wants to go skydiving, that wants to explore. And we've just had Jupiter re-enter Aries, ruled by Mars. And this next week we'll have Juno conjoin Jupiter in Aries. And we'll talk about this very interesting dichotomy between the need for total freedom and independence versus the need for connection and intimacy. It remains to be a paradoxical evolutionary tension through which all of us are evolving, living through these experiences. Ha! Now, because Mercury and Mars are stationing together at 8 degrees, respectively, in a perfect quincunx, Mercury will quincunx Mars today, and then again on the 20th. So we just get to sit in this little light boil for a little while, and, all I can suggest is that not only should we not take things seriously, and for those of you, you can follow me on Instagram. My gosh, Instagram. And while you're signing up for my Instagram account, my God, if you haven't subscribed on my YouTube channel, thumbed the up this video, shared it with all of your friends, what am I even doing? Anyways, a sense of humor. Sometimes that's the best that we have when we're going through difficult times. And I even have a hard time being honest with my own sense of humor in the New Age department, where humor is sometimes considered one and the same as sadism or evil. So let me be a friendly reminder of what Mars and Gemini stationing can be. It's stationed on my Mercury. Humor always has a sadistic element to it. There is always a laughing at or a putting down in some way, shape, or form that generates the alchemy of being able to transform a situation that may be shitty into a situation that at least is a little bit more lighthearted. If I were to say, why did the chicken cross the road? And you did not know to get to the other side, the joke's on you. It makes you look stupid because it's the obvious answer. Any example of humor is like this. This is Gemini reality. And Gemini is not a very well understood sign, maybe by its own nature, in today's day and age, even by those who proclaim to be into astrology. But I'm not going to go on one of those rants today. I'm holding on for dear life. You can, by the way, if you want to learn astrology, enroll in my astro school, or better yet, someone who did a Google search on astrology yesterday is publishing their course today. Maybe you should check theirs out instead. Tomorrow, the Sun joins Pluto on the 18th. This is a powerful, passionate, get our shit together. I know these weeks it's a little bit easier said than done. Fortunately, we do have Mercury and Mars stationing. You've heard me talk about how this is not really the go-ahead time. My guess is many of us have been experiencing that natural hibernating withdrawal. Well, as Mercury finally pulls forward, as Mars starts to finally pull forward, that motivation, will to live, and excitement factor may be returning to us. Boy, you got to be careful when you start talking about the will to live. I was blocked from Facebook today for mentioning the wrong word. By the way, Facebook, I am just impressed with how well Facebook is sabotaging the human psyche. Well done, Facebook. You've clearly enrolled in some highly refined psychological schools to be fucking up the entire species so hard as you are so successfully pulling off. Now, the new moon in Aquarius on the 21st is joined with Pluto. So there is, through this forthcoming month, mid-January into mid-February, this getting the damn lawnmower engine started, pushing things forward. It is a brand new chapter, but this divine discontent I am so poignantly expressing with my Gemini character is certainly going to continue to be a driving force now through these coming weeks. We have not even had Uranus station direct coming up in the next few weeks. So Venus joins Saturn on the 24th. 24 degrees Aquarius. Square my Saturn, hence my mood. No, Venus joins Saturn on the 22nd. And then Uranus immediately stations direct on the moon's north node in Taurus. So Venus is the ruler of Taurus in Aquarius. More Aquarius type of period we're in right now. Venus squared Uranus this last weekend, I believe on the 14th. This is some real, like Hunter S. Thompson experience. And Hunter S. Thompson is one of my muses, by the way. And I need more muses, by the way. I'm on the lookout. And Hunter S. Thompson is not exactly a Yogi Bhajan type of character who's pretending to look like he's all enlightened and nice and sober, and neither am I. Because what you learn from astrology is to accept the total diversity of life instead of assuming and pretending that we all are supposed to look the same damn way. And I can't even begin to express my utter disappointment in humanity, the New Age movement, the psychological world even, due to its unbelievable bias, caricaturing. You see, people are afraid to learn astrology because they're afraid of getting pigeonholed into a sign. No, if you actually learned about your sign, you would learn about your nature being different than everybody else's, and then you wouldn't try to fit a cookie cutter that you don't belong into. That's actually why I'm passionate about astrology to begin with. I'm also using astrology to give permission to be myself, which is why you see me being the crazy character on screen that you are beholding. I hope at least it's amusing. I don't mention the asteroid Lucifer very much because the world is not ready for Lucifer, which is to me a screaming and obvious reflection of how we are not in the age of Aquarius yet, because our belief systems are totally Pisces age belief systems generally. But asteroid Lucifer has been a main culprit as to why these months, the last couple months and this next month, have been intense. There is no more powerful, intense archetype. And we now have Lucifer in Aquarius. We have Lucifer joining this new moon in Aquarius. This is the time to be breaking into a new reality. And here's why very few people are going to be moving towards Age of Aquarius belief systems in this lifetime. It will challenge everything that you've ever known. I don't blame people for not going down that rabbit hole, and why few people even make it back up to the surface after they've gone down. It's not an easy ride. What I am attempting to do in these videos is break it apart and make it as digestible and palatable as possible. Understandably, this one's a little bit more bitter. We'll see if I gain or lose followers. Sometimes it's a roll of the dice. That's how I have to play it. I don't have a choice. My North Node's in Aquarius in the 8th house. What more is there to say? I don't really want to keep talking about these things. I mean, there's this Mercury Quincunx to Mars is going to be going on this next week, and it's going to be underneath so many different personal, interpersonal experiences. It really is like we have to embrace the nature of what it means to be a human as really being non-different from being an artist. And that, I believe, is true. There are cultures out there that don't have the word for artist because that's simply what we are. And to me, the real artists are the ones that have to create art to save their soul. And this is what we can all be experiencing through this tension, is that something has to be done. And it has to honor us. It has to honor our value system. That is Venus. That is Taurus. And it has to be fuel for our own soul's passion. Now, ideally, we can bring these things together, perhaps under the umbrella of a career. I think in this day and age, That's what we're all trying to get to. And for those of you who have tuned into me, some of you have tuned into me now for 10 years. And I feel that some of you, you probably know me a bit better than, I don't know, a lot of other people I meet in person do. You've been in tune with me for so long. But you know, I'm not the type of person that's touting these stupid ideas and these self-harming beliefs such as, well, if this, then that. So if you've done the spiritual work, your life's going to be easy. And this is the best thing. I've been on Instagram a little too much the last week. That's going to change because it affects my mood. I get to see the old New Age teacher whose prior lifetime was probably a Nazi on a stage in front of a crowd explaining to everybody, receiving a standing ovation, teaching people that you don't have to have needs. Your problem, you see, is you've got needs. Just get rid of those. And the whole crowd's like, oh, yeah, my life's so much better now that I'm no longer a human being. I cut off every limb of my being. I am a ghost, barely touching foot on the ground. I'm enlightened. So, ideally, oh God, we all have needs. The sock puppet was honestly addressing some of my own, and I'm learning to not feel bad about it because it begs the question, what is true humility? Is true humility pretending you don't have needs? Is true humility pretending that you're entirely selfless? I'm the guy who's tried to be selfless for a lot of years, and I will tell you, the universe does not provide for selfless people. That's not how this works. If you try to hang yourself on a cross like Jesus Christ, you're going to get tortured to death. That's what's going to happen to you. It's not that simple. Those are some of the harder lessons we're learning right now. Because again, there's this paradox between Juno and Aries that's like, hey, I want total freedom, even in my relationships. Why? Because no one's identical. So can we be joint at the hip and do all the same things all day long? I've seen relationships like this. They're the most depressing things I've ever witnessed. So no, we cannot be joint entirely at the hip. We need to be individuals. We have different desires, different drives. I'm going to like some things about you. I'm not going to like some things about you. Sorry, it's just called being alive. And then Venus conjoins Saturn on the 22nd. And it's like, what does Venus-Saturn want? Commitment? The long haul? What are we actually doing and building? Can we actually create something between the two of us instead of it just being, boys club, girls club, whatever. I don't even need to go down those. Uranus stationing on the North Node, this is kind of telling us that, these fundamental changes and this dimensional breakdown that's really been going on for years, likely if you've been sentient and paying attention, it really is at this slingshot point. There's no going backwards anymore. That North Node already passed Uranus. They've been kind of joining together while Uranus has been retrograde, and now Uranus is going to move forward. The North Node will continue to move in its clockwise direction, opposite direction of the planets. This is about livelihood. This is about money. This is about stability. This is about contentment. What makes us content on the inside? What really fills us up? So to go back to the example of relationships, which we all know are evolving out of the medieval age of till death do us part. There's 4 people on the planet that that's called your village. You have your baker, your farmer, the person that is giving birth to the next generation of children. And there's about 10 of us that we knew on the planet. Those were the good old days. Okay, so now as we're entering a different day and age, as there's so much diversification, we have the internet, the whole world's plugged together, we're realizing the world's a lot smaller. The world's a lot smaller than we realized. This is kind of random, but I'm plugging in so many random things here and now because this is Mars stationing direct to my Mercury. Anyone can get in contact with me. There's been, throughout the years, many people who have sent me a message on various social media platforms and I have not gotten back to them. I'm notorious, have been in the past, notorious for not responding to the one message on social media. That is because I may be doing something that day or I may miss the message because technical things do happen. So if you've sent me one message before and I didn't respond to you and you want to be in contact, please message me again. I want to let you all know it's actually easy to be in touch with me, but there's a means to do that. I invite you to my community as opposed to just the Instagram messenger from a stranger. It doesn't even get into my main mailbox. I didn't even know how to use Instagram until last year. So I apologize if I did not get back to you. Please cut me some slack. It's not because I don't care about you. It's not because I think mean things about you. Relationships, career, job, diversity, a new age where there's so many more choices. And the more choices you have, the harder it is to be content. You remember how I just said that this year is all about learning how to be content? And even at this time, we may be experiencing a divine discontent, which could even be like a slingshot or a jet fuel to push us towards getting more content via the experience of lack, interference, whatever's getting in the way. So the more choices we have, the more we actually suffer. This is simple statistics psychology. You know, they ran experiments. If you give somebody a choice of 2 jelly beans, they'll be satisfied with their choice. Well, I definitely like this one more than the other one. If you give someone 1,000 different flavors of jelly beans and you say you got to choose one, you're going to choose one jelly bean and then think about all the other ones that you could have chosen, but you did not, and it might have been better if you did, and so now you're not totally sure about the one that you did choose, etc. So that's the challenge. We talk about how, all of this freedom is just totally, without new challenges, folks. As we have not even started the Aquarius age. Wait till Pluto gets into Aquarius this year, and then through the next couple decades, it's gonna honestly gonna be like a haunted house on LSD in certain respects, for better and for worse. Not just a haunted house. There'll be other houses too, but you'll see the haunted house on LSD. The best and the worst. Extremes. Aquarius is extreme. And these fixed signs that are going to become more and more increasingly highlighted, all pervasive, all the fixed sign gods and goddesses from ancient times are going to re-enter into our consciousness as they already are. It's intense. The fixed signs are power. This is about us entering an age where human beings are learning our creative, destructive potencies. And it's about connecting with God as opposed to getting on our hands and knees and having nothing to do about anything because God does everything. It's on its way out. Again, I don't encourage you to crucify yourself. You're probably just going to hurt a lot. There's probably better ways to get things moving and to get things done. I've been trying to get back to the same point for like 5 minutes now. Relationships, career, and a day and age in which we are having so many more freedoms, so that way, hopefully, what we're trying to do is bring it all under the umbrella together. So, ideally, we like our job and we're getting paid to do what we like. And again, this is not necessarily the case. This is like a big struggle right now, collectively, right? I'm the one who has the most luxurious position, and look how much I'm struggling just talking to myself about things that I'm passionate about and love. So yeah, these are the times. And we don't always manage to get by getting paid with the things that we love. Sometimes I encourage clients, you got to bring a book into your job. You got to almost invent some type of game so that way you're not having your soul absorbed by whatever it is you need to do to survive, because we've all got very human needs. Ideally, we can align what we're passionate with our job so we can get paid to do work that doesn't seem like work. Is that a jackpot situation? Yes, it is. Do I encourage us to at least be trying to get there if we have any opportunity to do so? Absolutely. This could be life-changing. This could be the liberation of your soul. To be honest, I'm going through the same process. I cannot do astrology 24 hours a day, 100% of my life, as if that's all my identity is. And that comes full circle back to relationships. This is the point I want to kind of conclude with, I suppose. Jobs are evolving out of the medieval age. Relationships are also evolving out of the medieval age. It used to be just like, oh, I'm the man, so I fill these roles. You're the woman, so you fill these roles. When we are a couple, we do these types of things together. And when we're single, we do these kinds of things together. And you know what? I think that all of the above are really changing and evolving. How? In a Venus-Taurus type of way. Venus is the principle of relationship. Venus actually rules all resonance in life, in the universe, mirroring, give and take, reciprocation, harmony, mirroring, balancing. And Venus rules the heart chakra. What we love creates an electromagnetic field that sends out a message that tends to attract people of a similar wavelength, which is why a lot of my following aren't the same people who are tuning into Abraham Hicks, because we've got different wavelengths coming from here. Isn't that something? In relationship, there is so much more freedom, possibility, and opportunity than we've known was possible because of the traditions of what love, relationship, and gender is supposed to be and look like. And the reason I'm bringing up this point is Venus is simply the principle of reciprocation. Is there one way to show love? Is it writing greeting cards? Is it giving presents to our one partner? Is it showing up for Christmas to our parents? Is that all love is? Is there like, I'm trying to think of like the cultural traditional ways that we see love and relationship being expressed, and it looks pretty Hallmark card to me. And that is where there's going to be this terrific opportunity for liberation. Now with Venus and Aquarius, but we're entering a totally new age in the coming years and decades. This is the age of Aquarius. The rules of the game are being rewritten. And quite frankly, the rules can be broken. It's about increasing our capacity for love. It's about increasing our capacity for respect of self and other. By being, doing, and operating in ways that may seem totally contrary to what we believe is acceptable. Such as hopping on a YouTube video and talking to my sock puppet. I'm sorry, it was a stocking. Hand. All right, one more insert. There's been a lot of personal Timothy in this one, and it's been a need of mine. So thank you for meeting my need of being seen and heard. Sincerely. In the year 2021, where I was going through my most isolating, high culminating experience, a lot of people were passing around the assumption that I was transsexual. And you know what? If I were transsexual, I would be a lot more open about that. But my case and situation is actually even more rare and unusual. So I just want to explain the stocking on my hand results from an utter boredom with humanity. I am so utterly bored with the creative tundra of my fellow world and species. I'm the type of person who sometimes finds myself doing things or in situations that are even potentially dangerous to save my soul from the even more soul-crushing boredom. So now you've heard it from me. I hope in some way, shape, or form you can take this spark of madness and illuminate your own creative genius, because I'd certainly love to hear from you. The Rasa Leela community is not just an astrological community. I want it to be a place for creatives, innovators, geniuses. I want painters. I want sex workers. I want inventors. These are my people. the people that don't have the respect that they deserve in the world because they're too ahead of their time, I want to make sure that we can at least find some others who have our back, especially this year as we're going through this global economic crisis. It is, it's heart crushing to see how it's affecting artists, because artists already had the short straw in our culture and society, not being taken seriously, not getting paid enough. Shit, I mean, when I was an animator, people would be just like, oh yeah, animation's easy. You do it on a computer now. You just press a button. It's not like the old days where you used to draw everything by hand. And I'd be just like, it's exactly the same. What are you talking about? So artists and creatives actually need support now more than ever. And I want the community to be a springboard for those who have their own entrepreneurial, grassroots, small, do-it-yourself, at-home business, artistic stuff. Like, we want to be supporting you as a creator and as an individual and as a way paver, as an intentional community and group. And I wish I mentioned it before the 32-minute mark, but I have been working with the fantastic visionary artist Emily Kell. We do have a 2023 astro calendar available for purchase. You may not be tracking the month of January if you purchase it now, but hey, you still got 11 months of an astrology calendar that was put together by me, coupled with amazing feminists, sacred visionary paintings provided by the brilliant artist Emily Kell. So anyways, you can purchase a calendar if you're interested in that. Thanks for bearing with me. For those of you who soaked up this last 30 minutes, good for you. You've got some special quality in your skin, thick skin maybe. And I look forward to talking to you next time. Full moon in Leo. Maybe I'll dress up a little bit more playfully. Hopefully we'll feel a little bit more spirited in that way as well.